Hi everybody, it's Ron Suchiu here. I know you've been waiting for this. It's our very first online unveiling. It's a historic moment for us here at Suchiu Art. And today I'm going to be unveiling the painting that you've been watching for on Facebook, and you've been watching little pieces of it being made, but you've never seen the whole thing. So this is juxtacompositioning, and this is our very first online unveiling. Let's do it right now. Okay, here we go. Oh shoot. So that didn't go so well, did it? Anyway, it's Ron Suchiu. We're going to give it a second shot here. And again, this is our very first, it's a very historic but very first online unveiling. And we're going to be showing you today Juxtacompositioning, my new painting. And a lot of you have been following it on Facebook, so you've seen little bits and pieces of it. Actually, you've probably seen the full painting, but you've never seen it together as one piece. So here we go. This is juxtacompositioning through the folds of the fabric of time. And there we go. So what I'm going to do right now is we're going to zoom right in on it and give you a close-up of it. And let me start by describing this incredibly long title. The title is quite surreal in itself. Juxtacompositioning I made from the actual word juxtapositioning, and in the painting you do see not only are there four super artists with their canvases, but they are actually composing the background scenery, which was something I painted that looks very Dali-ish. For those who don't know, I have chosen three mentors, or three, I always say I made my own recipe for my art, and my recipe as my own talent, I chose Salvador Dali, Norman Rockwell, and I chose Leonardo da Vinci to become the three main mentors in what I do. If I have to, paint something surreal, I'm obviously going to go to Dali, and if I wanted something fun and friendly and warm and cuddly, then I'll go to Norman Rockwell. And if I want to know what the ultimate techniques or technical techniques I should be using for the painting, as far as perspective and depth and windowing, then I would actually go to Leonardo da Vinci to actually ask him the questions, and he gives me the answers. Just by my own knowledge and my studying of these three characters, it really does help me out. Anyway, I just wandered off, but that's okay. And what I've done in the painting is, let's just take Andy Warhol for example. I actually really wanted to make sure that the painting had some kind of a truth to it, almost like a functionality. I've used the term functionality before in my art, and I really believe it's important. So what I did is all four of the artists have certain techniques that would vary substantially one from another. And as in Warhol's case right here, he would do paintings more than using just a brush. He would actually use a stencil, and he would also use silk screening, and that would allow him a very quicker way of duplicating scenes. So you saw, you'd see with the Marilyn Monroe or the John Lennon pieces or whatever, you'd always see his face repeating 4 times, usually 4 times. So what I've done in this scene is I've taken the Dali scene, I've painted it, and then Warhol has now taken it and translated it into a Warhol, but also using the techniques of Warhol. And the same went for Van Gogh. I had to go, and I usually spend 3 or 4 or 5 hours with Van Gogh, and I thought, okay, I'll look at all of his different pieces and see what his brushwork was all about. And then I portrayed the background scenery as Van Gogh would in his heavy brush mark impressionist work. And which is kind of nice is that people walk up to there and they automatically see Starry, Starry Night, which was never intended in the first place, but it did turn out that way. Now Jackson Pollock on the right hand side, most people don't know about Jackson Pollock. I'm very surprised with that. Jackson Pollock was from New York State and worked a lot with Mrs. Guggenheim with the Guggenheim collection, and she actually made him very, very famous for his drippings paintings. And in this one I've actually shown his painting as a dripping, and I've had to actually, I found a technique that I was really, really tough to do, but I found a way to actually take oil paint and simulate the dripping very, very accurately. So, and the fun part is when you see on the bottom right-hand corner of the painting is Jackson would lay his canvas down flat on the ground or on a piece of plywood or whatever, or the floor of his studio, and he would have the background color painted and then drip all different colors of paint all over it, and this is how I had Jackson portray the Dali-ish Suchiu background. And now we come to Norman Rockwell. So what I did with Norman Rockwell was he would never do a surreal piece. I knew that at the time, but I really wanted to have him in there because I really wanted a kind of a chuckle, a little bit of a joke to the painting, so it made it a bit more light and lively. And who else but Rockwell would be able to do that? So the painting itself that he's portraying from the Salvador Dali background is a realist piece, but it's a little bit smoother than he would paint it. It's more like I would paint it. So the scenery I put in there is actually my portrayal of the Dali background. And this is where through the folds of the fabric of time happened. It's this kneading of the bread and, you know, making stories overlap and interfold. And then what was a lot of fun was to take Norman Rockwell, his portrait, which is from his back, and paint him as if he would paint him, so that if you look closely at the brushwork and that, it's actually very, very accurate to Norman Rockwell's actual techniques. So anyway, this has been a lot of fun, this painting, and you know, through the folds of the fabric of time. The reason I say that is because the sky actually does look like white satin being folded, but more than anything was to try and have these four super artists portraying a piece of work that Dali had did, but really wasn't Dali, it was Suchiu, and then have them portray it the way they would portray it in their own techniques and in their own style. And I think, yeah, I think it turned out quite good, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. So anyway, hope you enjoy this. We're going to be releasing these pieces over the next year in very, very small quantities. The one thing is, people might not realize, but we have opened up an online art marketing academy called Art Oogly. And in conjunction with Art Oogly, we're actually doing our releases as part of a case study, which is the case study this year for the year 2016. Is everything we do is to show the clients and artists themselves how to intentionally increase the value of their art. And we just did the release with the Lucas and Beyond, and it's selling out like crazy. It went so fast it wasn't funny. In these pieces, we're going to do very, very small runs. And the small runs are to get them sold out and to make sure that people such as yourself as collectors have a piece of Suchiu art that really does escalate in value very, very quickly. You know, I don't want people to have to wait until I'm dead and gone to realize the value of what of investing in my name and investing in me as my talent. So anyway, we're going to carry on and get to the next painting. I've got to get back to work in the studio, and I really do thank you for coming out and looking at this online unveiling, and I hope it was fun for you. And please do me a favor, you know, go to Facebook and like us on Facebook and share this with us. We're gonna have a link to the video on Facebook, and have a wonderful time with it. Thank you very much. See you later, guys. Bye bye.